Welcome to our physically distanced Maundy Thursday observance.
Okay, maybe that was too distant. I'm Reverend David Felton, and I'm glad you're joining the fountains in this reflection for Maundy Thursday. In thinking about how to best adapt something like this observance to our new pandemic reality, I wanted to avoid being just another pious talking head. So I'm going to keep it short and sweet and suggest what is hopefully an eminently practical spiritual discipline. First, the big question. Why are we having Monday on Thursday again? Well, at least that was the big question when I was a kid and misheard the pronunciation. The Maundy comes from the story in John 13 when Jesus gave the disciples the mandate to love one another as I have loved you. Well, mandate comes from mandatum in Latin, and over the years, mandatum morphed into Maundy. Second is the action taking place in our story. Jesus washes the feet of his followers as a demonstration of what it means to serve others. Now, unless you come out of the Evangelical United Brethren stream of our United Methodist tradition, you've probably never experienced ritual foot washing, but it used to be a thing. And it was never a real rub-a-dub-dubbing of someone's feet, but a symbolic use of a small amount of water. In our day and age, genuinely washing someone else's feet is primarily the domain of nurses, medical aides, and the caregivers of infants or the elderly and the fragile. I think it's fallen out of favor as a religious ritual because it's almost too visceral, too intimate for a culture that struggles with what to make of our physical bodies. So we kind of skip over it when Jesus does it, making it more likely that we miss the message Jesus is leveraging in his action. Just like any of us might want to do when we sense the end is near, we want to leave those we love with a word of wisdom or encouragement. And I think that's exactly what Jesus was up to. He said, look, I'm not going to be around forever, but if anyone ever asks you what I was on about, tell them that I wanted you to love one another, and that I even washed your feet as a sign of how to embody that love. Well, this Maundy Thursday, the message hasn't changed, but the gesture of love has moved from our feet to our own hands, not just to protect ourselves, but to protect each other from what for many is a deadly virus. In our present reality, we literally cannot wash each other's feet, but we can bring to that otherwise ordinary act of washing our hands an attitude of reverence that we've never had before. The Gospel of John tells us that on this night, Jesus took a towel and a basin and he washed his disciples' feet. And he gave them a commandment to love one another with humility, mindful of the often difficult roads that each of us walk. So tonight I invite you to make a commitment to join me in transforming the vital and practical imperative to wash our hands into an expression of Jesus' mandate to us to love one another. And my hope is that this is something that we can incorporate into our everyday lives in the weeks and months to come. So here's the practical spiritual discipline part. You've probably all heard that it's recommended that we wash our hands for a minimum of 40 seconds, and that a good way to measure that amount of time is by singing Happy Birthday through twice. But if I'm going to bring an attitude of reverence to this undertaking, singing Happy Birthday just doesn't do it for me. So what we need is a familiar and easy to sing substitute. And what should present itself but one of our centering songs from the Taizé tradition, Ubi Caritas. The words are perfect. Where love and caring are, there is God. And guess what? If you sing it through twice, 40 seconds. And then, looking into the origin of Ubi Caritas, imagine how gratified I was to discover that the words originated in a Gregorian chant that was traditionally sung during, wait for it, the foot washing ceremony performed on Maundy Thursday. So, on this night, and for the foreseeable future, I invite you to join me in making the washing of our hands more than just the fending off of a virus. Make it an expression of love for your neighbor, obeying Jesus' mandate that we love one another as he's loved us. May we go forth into this new reality with confidence and purpose, loving one another and empowered by the blessing of the Spirit of life. Now, go wash your hands and be well. Where love and caring are, there is God. 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 Go in peace.